Yeah, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Jeremy Allen Carp Angler. You join me and Rocco today back up at the top lake. I say afternoon, it's come up to evening now, it's nearly 6 o'clock, and as you'll probably see, we are in a different swim. So Rocco's with me, he's down there munching his dinner, and I've been sat there with him having a cup of tea. But yeah, we're in peg 8 today by the lilies, and the main reason being is we've been doing a bit of tree work in peg 7. There was a tree there just to the left, it's gone now, it's most of it's over there. Unfortunately we had 2 big branches snap off and go down into the water. It was down in the water there to the left, but you'll see now they're all been nicely cut off and pruned, and we've had to drag them out and cut them out and put them over there, and that's taken probably about a couple of hours today to do that. So it's opened that swim out a bit more. There's still a branch across there to stop people casting over to the lilies from here. Yeah, whilst we were doing that, we sat up in peg 8 here, and that is quite a nice peg. So I thought we'd stay here and give this one a try. I've never fished in this peg before, but as you can imagine, I've got one just down to the right here on the edge of these lilies, and yeah, clutches up very tight, not locked up, so if something does pull really fast, it will take a bit of line, but hopefully it doesn't get buried in the lilies. I'm not going to leave a bait there during the night. I'm actually going to, well, I'm still debating. I've got one out in the middle. I might put both out in the middle, or I might put one out just to the left here, probably about 10 yards off the lilies, but out to the left, so 10 yards out off to the lilies, but over to the left here. I've seen a couple of fish show there while I've been here during the day. Not sure whether they're feeding down there or just coincidence they've showed, but I'm kind of trying to make my mind up whether to put 2 out in the middle tonight or 1 to the left, and on that sort of ridge line there, I think there's a bit there where they seem to like patrolling about 10 yards off the lilies all the way down the lake. So I may put a bait there tonight and just to see, and then in the morning I should probably put one down on the edge of those lilies again, for the early sort of morning feeding spell, if I had any success out farther out in the lake. But yeah, there's 2 of us on here tonight. I'm in 8 and Steve's in peg 9, so we should do well. Maybe some more people will turn up, so it's just gone 6 o'clock, so time for someone else to turn up for the night. But if not, then we've got the lake to ourselves. But so hopefully we'll have some action. Right, that's where we are, what we're doing. Rocco's, yeah, he's quite tired. He's been a warm day, muggy day today, thundering. We did have a light shower around about 1 o'clock, but and it got really thundery before. We're going to have a real heavy downpour, but it didn't really develop into anything. It was good because the air pressure dropped, so that's good for a bite, but not to be. And you know, as I say, Rod's only been out a few hours now, and hopefully we'll get some action from here during the night. Right, I shall speak to you again a bit later. Yeah, good morning everyone, and yeah, it's about 6:15 now, and we've yeah, got our first bite, and yeah, we've got ourselves a nice little common. Let me just see if I can pick him up, and he's nice and lively, as they're inclined to be when they're this size. There you go. Oops. There you go. I'll show you the other side. Just for, got a little mark on him, we'll have to treat up in a sec. There we go. Right, it's just over £6. £6.06 to be exact, but yeah, we'll get him treated up and then we'll get him slipped back. Yeah, morning everyone. It's just coming up to 7 o'clock, and yeah, I thought I'd do a morning update, and yeah, apologies last night I didn't do an evening update. I think you know, it was quite late last night when it got dark, and we were sort of sat outside having a chat till quite late last night, and then it suddenly got dark, and I've been finding I laid on my bed, so I completely forgot about doing one. But yeah, as I say, nothing really happened during the day, and then well, probably about 8 o'clock, I'll say a mate next door, he actually hooked a fish, had it on for about a minute or so, and then it came off, so that was a bit of action in the evening, and then I didn't have any, and then so I went to bed. The most notable thing, the left hand rod let out a couple of bleeps about 1:30, which woke me up, and the bobbin sort of, instead of being led down, sort of went up like that, but that is all it moved probably about an inch, and that was the only action I had last night. And then I sort of was awake at 4:30 this morning. It was getting light then, and I could see loads of bubbling down the right hand side here. Let me talk, and you can see the edge of those lilies there, it was fizzing up like a jacuzzi this morning. There was like 5 or 6 patches of bubbles, even right in virtually under my rod tip. So the right hand rod, which was out in the middle, I probably reeled that in. It probably, I don't know, 5:15, something like that, and put it back out with a baiting pole just down off the edge of those lilies there, and sat there anticipating, thinking that was the rod that was gonna go, and then literally about yeah, just before about 6 o'clock, the left hand rod pulled up tight and whizzed off, took a bit of line, and then yeah, lifted into that fish, which thankfully kept left. I thought anything I hooked was going to go straight into the lilies, but no, he kept left and went in the net quite as good as gold, really. Didn't give me any problems at all getting him in, and yeah, I looked at him, I thought he's got to be about £6 or £7. He wasn't big, and then yeah, my estimation was pretty good. It was £6, so he went £6.06. So yeah, at least we managed to get one this session, so make up for the loss on the last session, and yeah, probably the last couple of sessions actually. I think over the last sort of 4 sessions, I think I've hooked 5 fish and only landed 2. That's only the second one I've landed. It's been a frustrating few weeks actually, so yeah, that's made up for it. Yeah, probably wondering where Rocco is. Let me just turn the camera around, and yeah, I can't, let's try and zoom you in. There he is, down there fast asleep. Oh mate, he's got some action. Right, I'm just gonna stop you and go and help him. Yeah, back again everyone. Sort of, yeah, father morning update. And yeah, as you've seen from the last bit of footage, as I was talking to you, mate Steve next door got a run, and yeah, it's the morning of the small commons. He's just had one of £7.4. So yeah, in the last sort of 2 hours we've had the fish each, and they've both been small commons, one of 6.6 and one of 7.4. So yeah, we're sort of fighting our way through the small ones at the moment. But yeah, it's you might know I've got my coat on. It's gone just clouded over and got quite windy and quite overcast. I thought it was going to rain, so I sat outside with Rocco and I started to feel cold, so I put my coat on. And yeah, I've just made myself a coffee, and I'm just making. I've had drunk that. I'm making another one. I've had some noodles this morning, and still not warmed up. So yeah, I think it's just a difference. I'm not used to it being a bit cooler in the mornings, and yeah, it's been so red hot the last month or so, all the time. A cooler morning sort of catches you out a bit, but I expect, no doubt, when I start packing up it will become red hot, and we'll be boiling hot time we get back down to the car at lunchtime with all the gear. But so we'll see what happens, and yeah, maybe I'll see you a bit later with a fish. They still seem to be quite active. There's one or two boshed out over the side over there, in sort of peg 1. One's come out just off the lilies between peg 1 and peg 2, and then there's been 2 bosh out under the trees along the sort of margin of peg 1. So yeah, they seem to be active. They've stopped sort of bubbling round by me, but I'm not convinced that was carp. That I think that was maybe tench or even a roach getting on the pellet and causing the bubbling. But or maybe it was those small, small commons or mirrors of sort of between 5 and 10 pound that's responsible for it. I don't know really. I mean, yes, I have caught one, but it wasn't really off the spot that was bubbling. If I was going to get a bite, it would have been the right hand rod. That's where all the bubbling was. But the left hand rod, it was out quite a bit farther as the one that I got the fish on. So I'm not convinced yet, but if the right hand rod goes in a minute with a load of bubbling around it and it is another small common, and I will be convinced. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, I'll speak to you all in a bit. Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of what my husky got up to this week. I might have alluded in the last video that Rocco wasn't with me when I was over at the big pit, and then I didn't say what he'd been up to. But yeah, what actually happened was, we've been fishing on the Wednesday, Thursday, and I was taking him for a walk on the Thursday night back home, and I don't know if you're familiar, along the grass verges you get a lot of weed and you get a lot of wild grass growing. You get these little darts with the seeds on, and I don't know what he did, but one minute he was sniffing around a tree, as he does, and the next minute he starts violently sneezing. And when I managed to so much, it was banging his head on the ground when he did it, so I managed to grab hold of him, and I could then see there was these bits of grass coming out of his nose. It turned out that he'd obviously a grass dye gone up there. Instead of sniffing it out, he'd snorted and sucked it back up into his nose, which was irritating him like mad. And I managed to sort of pull 3 or 4 bits of it out, and of course he kept on violently sneezing. This went on for what seemed like 5-10 minutes, and to the point that he then started snorting out blood everywhere, and he was covered me in it. At which point I rang my wife to come and pick us up, and because we were probably not that far from home, sort of 1/4 mile from home at the time, and she brought the car around, and we put him in the back of the car, and he was sneezing his nut off. So I put him in the car and rung the vets, and of course it was typical. It was about 6:30 at night, so they were all either closed or they were doing operations, and couldn't see him. So they suggested we went to the emergency hospital in based in Lee Park, which I didn't even know was there at the time. So anyway, we got him home, at which point he'd stopped sneezing. So I kind of went home and thought, shall I ring him, shall I not? Anyway, calmed down, and then so I rang them up and they said, keep an eye on him. If he keeps sneezing during the evening, then bring him down. So yeah, consequently we, half an hour later he sneezed violently again and blood came out. So, and I googled it by this point, which, I read all these horror stories about dogs dying from where they've snorted up a dart and it's gone into their brain or gone into the heart through the bloodstream. And so at which point it got to about 9 o'clock, and after about the third sneezing fit during the evening, we rang up the vet hospital and took him down. Whereupon they examined him, and at the time they weren't too concerned because he wasn't sneezing all the time and he wasn't appearing to be irritated by it, wasn't pouring at his snout or anything. So they give an injection. They give him a anti-inflammatory injection, and we had some antibiotic type pills to put him on. And they said take him away and see what he does over the weekend. If he keeps on sneezing, well, yeah, lo and behold, periodically during the weekend, about once every couple of hours, he'd have a violent sneezing fit, which blood was coming out again. So we rang him on Saturday afternoon, and he was booked in on Monday to have a camera shoved up his nose and have his nasal passages flushed out, or worse, maybe tweezers go up there and pull anything out if they could see anything up there. Anyway, so I took him to the vets on Monday, and he don't like needles or anybody touching his rear end when he gets to the vet. So of course, long story cut short, it took us 3 hours to get him sedated. We were giving him pills in cheese to knock him out, but of course every time they went near his back end to try and jab him, he would squirm away. I mean, he wasn't violent towards them, he's just quick. He's super quick when he don't want to be anywhere. So anyway, we got him, it wasn't until he had 3 sedatives, and we took him out for a walk outside, and as he was weeing, this vet jabbed him this anaesthetist, he jabbed him in the back and managed to get it in him, in which case he was out then. So, but yeah, the good news was they put a camera up his nose, couldn't see anything, give his nasal passages a flush out, and then I brought him home a couple of 3 hours later, at which point he was still so dozy that I was then obviously going fishing. That was on a Monday, and he was dozy all day on the Tuesday, to the point that we said, don't think we'd better take him. I'd better take him tomorrow. So he stayed behind for that trip. And he was a bit dozy on the Wednesday, but by Thursday morning he was back to his normal self, apparently. And the moral of the story was, don't get grass darts up your nose. I think the whole procedure cost about £1,800 in the end. It cost me that because she's insured, but cost me 200. But that was another daft thing that led to a trip to the vets. Now that's 2 now. That's eating a toy which possibly had a pipe cleaner in it that he had to have a X-ray and an ultrasound on, and a grass dart up there which he's had to have his nasal passages flushed out. So so hopefully we don't have anything else from him. So yeah, it's quite contented now. Look. Right, thanks for watching this episode of what my husky got up to this week. Yeah, hello again everyone. It's come up to 9:30 and we've got our second little common of the trip, and unfortunately they're getting smaller. This one's £4.10. That's one side of him, and there's the other side of him. Right, well, get him slipped back and see if we can then try and get one of his bigger cousins. Right, back again, and yeah, it's now 10:30, and amazingly we've got to take during the day, and we've got ourselves getting bigger. Got ourselves a nice little mirror, £12.10. There we go. That's that. Get the other side for you. That's the other side. Alright, he's got a few marks on him. We'll treat up and then we'll get him slipped back. Yeah, so good afternoon everyone. It's now well, it's just coming up to 1 o'clock, and we're coming to the end of our session, and yeah, it's been a bit of a hectic morning, as you can see from the earlier footage. So I haven't had that fish at was it 7 o'clock this morning. That little, was it £6 10-ounce common. I then followed up at 9:30 with one of £4.10 or something, and oh, in between that, say Steve next door, as I was doing a bit of an update, as you see, he had a £7.4 common. So it was all a bit hectic. We were catching all the small fish, and then at 10:30, me same rod, left hand rod, went off again, and I had that £12.10 mirror. So yeah, it was a good sort of end to the session. And then to top that off, we've just been packing up, and right as Steve was about to reel in his last rod, that went, and he had a little common on there of £5.4. So yeah, we've obviously I think we're on a little shoal of small commons today. So yeah, we've been, you know, quietly picking them off this morning. So we've had sort of 5 fish between us, and Steve lost one, so we could have had 6. So yeah, it's been quite an eventful and successful session. So Rocco's tired out, he's itching to get going, and so Steve's all packed up. So I'm just about to reel my rods in around. So yeah, all bivvies all away, everything's on the barrow apart from the rods. So I'm just about to reel those in. That'll be the end of today's or this session, and yeah, it just leaves me to say thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much to everybody that's helping to support the channel. It's your support that keeps me going, really. And as I said, I shall be doing a bait giveaway when I get to 250 subscribers. I think we're up to 225 now, so we're not far away. So in the next week or two, hopefully I'll get there, and we'll do a bait giveaway, and it'll probably be for either a kilo of Parker Baits OG fish 18mm boilies, or a kilo of the pucker baits floaters that are infused with a monster crab, depending on whether you like floater fishing or boilie fishing. So that will be the choice. So yeah, won't be long, and we'll get that competition going. So yeah, once again, from me and from Rocco, who's now crashed out, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.